Hi everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel. Today is another YouTube tutorial and we're going to do a 3D tumbler using this cute little flamingo float from Sculptistry. And so I'm going to show you how I put together this tumbler and then attach the 3D flamingo to this cup. Of course, everything I use will be listed and linked down below, as well as any discount codes that I have for you. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's tutorial. Okay, so jumping right in, I'm going to show you the products we're using. So this 3D flamingo piece is from Sculptistry. This is Batty Beach vinyl from Flint Sister Supply Shop. And then we're going to use Bellisa Tropical from Myra Makes It Batty Glitter. And those are going to be really all the elements that we're going to need. A couple of other things, of course, but really not too many other things we'll need to really put this cup together. So the first thing I want to do is, I know that I want to add vinyl as far as what's going to be on the background. And so I'm just determining how much of the palm trees are going to show on the cup and cutting away any of the excess vinyl I'm not going to need. Now the vinyl is going to cover about 3/4 of the cup, but not the entire full cup, because we are going to glitter the bottom portion of this tumbler. So this is a 30-ounce skinny tumbler, so it has a bit of a taper. So I know that the vinyl on the back side is not going to meet in a completely straight line, so I need to make sure that I account for a little bit of overlap to ensure that we don't have any stainless steel exposed once we wrap this section around the cup. So I'm going to measure once again to cut off the little bit of excess that I'll have, ensuring I have just a bit of overlap over where the two seams meet. That way I can cut that away later. And now we're going to go ahead and begin to wrap this on the tumbler. So same process as I always use here. I'm going to set this down on my sort of cup cradle here. This is from KELLBELL Custom. I got a few of these that I love to use. It really keeps things really close to the table too, which does make it easier to work with. But I'm just going to cut away about 1 inch or so of the vinyl and add that section, secure it to the cup as my anchor. And then as I push forward the vinyl, I'm rolling off that backing as I roll that vinyl on. So once the vinyl meets on the other side, I'll take the time now to trim any of the overlap we have. There will be a little bit of a slight overlap because, again, I don't want to have any of that stainless steel exposed whatsoever. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim with my craft knife just a little bit of overlap we have here on the cup. And then I will trim away the excess vinyl that's over the top of the vinyl, over the top of the cup as well. And what I'll do there is I will just push that vinyl over top of the cup and just really make sure that I am using a sharp knife here to trim away the excess vinyl on the top, just using my craft knife and pushing that at an angle to push and cut that vinyl over that top rim. So now that I'm satisfied with that, I decided that I didn't want it to just be like a straight line pattern along the bottom edge where the glitter is going to show. So I'm going to just use an Expo marker because it's easy to wipe away, and I'm going to draw on my own sort of wavy line here, and this is where all of our glitter is going to go. Then I'll just go back through and cut that section with a craft knife, and here we go. We have kind of our own wavy line. Now, could you have used a template? Certainly, but for me this just was just so much easier to just do it this way versus cutting the vinyl on a template, considering I wanted to really have a lot of those palm trees showing on the vinyl and not cut so much of that away. So I'm going to now sand the bottom portion where we're going to be adding glitter here, and I will clean that off with a bit of 91% rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. And then we can get into getting ready to glitter here. So I decided, because I didn't have a paint color that I felt really matched the glitter we're using, even though this is a metallic glitter, I decided that I was just going to color in the stainless steel with a bit of my Posca paint pen. So there's a blue Posca paint pen that I have in my stash here, and I'm just going to use that to sort of base paint the stainless steel of this cup. Now, you don't have to do this, but sometimes when I don't have the color that I want or that I need, I will just pick up an acrylic marker and just use that as my base. It's also really relaxing and like really chill and zen to just sit here and color too. So that was also a kind of the reason I decided to go with sort of coloring that with a pen versus painting it. But after I'm done with that, it's dried, we're gonna go ahead and add Mod Podge as our adhesive for our glitter here. Now, in hindsight, because the glitter that we're using, the Belisa Tropical, because that is more of a metallic glitter, you really could have gotten away, honestly, with literally glittering that right over the stainless steel and probably wouldn't have any stainless steel showing. But I am just sort of a creature of habit, and I really do always love to base paint over or under my glitters, just because I find that it is so much more vibrant when you have a color that matches under the glitter, and you really don't feel so like stressed, if you will, when it comes to your glitter application. If you miss a couple specks, you know, or there's just a little bit of a space in between glitter sections or glitter on the cup, you're not going to notice it as much. Whereas if it was something like a solid white color or stainless steel, you're really going to be able to see that off the bat. Sort of it catches your eye. But having a color, have it painted a color that's similar to the glitter really doesn't really kind of lends itself to blends with the glitter, so you don't notice in case there is any glitter that, you know, may have missed a spot on your glitter section. So I glittered that section with that gorgeous chunky mix there, and we're going to put that on the turner for 2 full coats of epoxy. Now I do seal this. I just sealed with Mod Podge because I'm currently out of like clear spray paint, which is my typical, you know, method of sealing glitter. So I just used Mod Podge after it was fully dry to seal that glitter in so it won't move during the epoxying process. Then I did 2 full coats of Flint Sister Supply Shop Fast Cure, about 30 mLs in my first coat and then another 20 in my second coat, so that most of the cup is pretty much smooth here. And we're now going to add our 3rd coat of epoxy here so that we can add some waves where the water meets sort of the beach coastline, if you will, here. So I'm going to start with just mixing up equal parts of Flynn Sister Supply Shop Artist Care. I want a little bit of a longer working time here because we are going to be adding that white epoxy dye and some heat to this to get some of those waves to move. And I don't want my epoxy to seize up on me or start to cure while I am doing this process. So I always err on the side of caution and will use the longer curing formula when I'm going to be doing any sort of work that involves needing more than just a few minutes of epoxy work on my cup. So I'm going to start by adding just a little bit of epoxy onto the cup, about 10 mLs. That's just going to create a really slick and slippery surface and really allow those strings of white epoxy dyed epoxy to be able to flow with the heat. Otherwise, if you had a very dry tumbler and you try and add waves, you will get a little bit of movement, but you won't get a lot of movement when you go to add heat to those waves. And of course, want that ink to really spread out and create beautiful cells within that white ink. So we're going to torch this real quick. Then I'm going to grab my Illuminate white epoxy dye and I'm going to add just a drop of this into the rest of the epoxy that I have left. I'll go ahead and mix this up and then we're going to add this to the cup next. So I'm adding this right along the edge of the vinyl and glitter section. I'm going right under that because when I use the heat gun, that's going to push that white epoxy dye over that line and create those beautiful cells. So that's why I didn't put it directly on the line, because I want it to cover up the line, if that makes sense, because we're not adding any sort of like vinyl or anything here to separate those two sections. Really, we're going to let that white epoxy dye do that process. So now that I have just a few swirls of white ink on here, I'm going to go ahead and take my heat gun, and with my turner stopped and just hand turning it here, I'm just going to allow my heat gun to do the work, spreading that epoxy with a bit of heat and getting those strings of that white dye to sort of flatten out, spread out a bit, and move up along that vinyl and glitter section there, just until I'm kind of satisfied. I always go back in and will clean up anything that doesn't look right to me. Anything that I just don't feel like looks how I want it to look, I'm going to kind of scoop that out with my fingers and just, you know, on a paper towel there until I'm kind of happy with the process. Once I'm satisfied with my waves, I'm going to switch the direction of my turner. So it was turning in one direction, then I'll swap it to go in the other direction. This is just going to help slow down the movement of that ink after we've added the heat. So it's going to kind of make it migrate again back in the other direction so that we don't get too much movement after it's fully cured. While that is on the turner curing, of course, we're going to go back to our 3D float here, our flamingo sort of floaty here. So this is from Sculptistry. I've mentioned it before, but for many of you who may be new to my channel, currently right now, if you are looking to get access to the Sculptistry website, things are a little bit different. So you have to join the mentorship group, which is really inexpensive. It's like $10 a month, and that gets you a discount code as well as direct access to the website to buy any of the products there. Obviously, if you purchase one of the actual subscription boxes, which is what I have, you get these sort of amazing add-ons and 3D sculpted products monthly, which I absolutely love. I love kind of being surprised, because then it really does allow me to be really creative in the things that I make. But that's also an opportunity to sign up for the subscription boxes. Then you get into that mentorship group and you have access to the website plus that discount code. If you're brand new and you decide to sign up for a subscription, you can mention my name in the notes. That would be great if you did. Super helpful to me as well. I like to keep track of who is recommended because of me or interested because of me. It's just something that I like to enjoy as well. Okay, so back to what we're doing. Now that I'm done rambling, we're gonna go ahead and paint this. So I painted the flamingo with just a beautiful pink. This is called Tickled Pink. It is from, it's a folk art craft paint that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. So we're gonna paint the entire flamingo pink. We're gonna let that first coat dry, go in and do any touch-ups with the second coat, of course. And then after that 2-coat of paint is dry, we'll focus on sort of the smaller elements here. So I'm just going to use a white Posca pen to outline the eyes again. Now, of course, the actual structure was white to begin with, but I did get some pink paint over the eyes. So I just went back with that white Posca pen to just cover that up and repaint those sections white. I'm going to do the same with a black Posca paint pen to color in the center section of the eyes as well on both sides here. And then we'll go ahead and focus on the beak of this. Now, I know in actual flamingos, right, like a real life flamingo, there typically is like a two-toned look to their beaks. Because this is very much a floaty, right, not an actual flamingo, I decided to just paint the entire beak black, because that's what you'd see if you purchased this as a floaty. So I decided to just kind of commit to the fully black beak. I might go back and rhinestone this entire flamingo. I haven't yet decided if I want to do that because it takes me so long to finish rhinestone projects, which is why I haven't done that yet. Haven't made that decision yet, but I really do think that this would look really cool and really beautiful when it's attached to the cup. And this is the only piece that is completely rhinestoned. I just feel like it adds kind of, a little extra little pizzazz, little extra bedazzling, if you will, when you have some of those sections rhinestoned. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish painting this. We'll let this dry. We're not going to do anything else with this. You certainly could glitter this if you wanted to. If I was going to glitter it though, I would have glittered it as part of it already attached to the cup personally. So I knew that I wanted to just keep it solid paint, which is why I decided to make this sort of the last step to add to the cup. With the cup now off the turner, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and sand. I'm going to sand that top rim, of course, leaving a bit of stainless steel exposed for our final coats of epoxy to adhere to. Sand anything on the cup that's still rough, especially that bottom edge sometimes where you get a little bit of glitter still sticking up through those 3 coats of epoxy. Make sure we have a nice even bottom and it's not wobbly. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach our flamingo float. So for this, in order to attach this, we're just going to use epoxy. So I'm going to use Flint Sisters artist, or not their artist cure. I'm going to use the fast cure, excuse me, because I really don't want to wait very long to be able to then add my final coats of epoxy. So I'm going to use fast cure because really it should in such a thin layer, it should be fully cured within an hour or so, honestly, especially with how warm it is in my craft space currently. But I'm going to mix up about 10 mLs of epoxy here, equal parts, of course, of part A and part B. We're going to stir this for a full 5 minutes. You want to make sure that your epoxy is fully mixed. You don't want to have any unmixed epoxy because that will impact, of course, the curing process. So the way that I'm going to attach this is I'm just going to use my gloved finger and I'm just going to add a thin layer of epoxy here to the inner portion of the flamingo ring because that is where the cup, of course, is going to touch the actual Flamingo Float 3D 3D piece. So I want to add a little bit extra kind of on that bottom edge and on that top edge so that when I push this in, you know, any of the epoxy that kind of pools out is going to just go on the bottom and top edge of that. I'm going to go back to the bottom because there is a slight gap on this where you can kind of see there's like a little bit of a gap, and so I want to make sure to fill that in with a little bit of epoxy. So adding just a few additional like thin layers to the portion on the bottom here, and I'll go back and really just make sure that I've kind of secured that top portion as well where the float meets the cup, to just make sure that there's not any gaps, and that this isn't going to come off. Now this is on honestly pretty snug, and when I first put this on the cup, you know, just with, you know, just the stainless steel, it fit much higher, and I'm kind of glad that I waited because I love the look of the float kind of like holding the drink. I just think this would look so cute to have like in your pool, like floating next to you as you're on a float by yourself. I don't know, I just feel like that just looks so cute, and so I like that it fits right at the bottom because it kind of just looks like it's like a flamingo like float like cup holder kind of. I don't know, it's just so cute. Anyway, back to the final touches here. So I got this Summer Vibes decal from Creative Fabrica. You can find the link to that down in the description box as well. And I cut that out of like this orangey pink vinyl, and then I just did a background of like a light blue vinyl that I had on hand. So I did that offset of that just to kind of make the words pop. So we're just going to layer that really quickly, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the tumbler. Super simple and easy, just the hinge method. So I'm just going to kind of get it centered, and I'm just going to attach the middle first, and then moving back and forth using my hand to just make sure I push out any air under that vinyl. That way it is nice and smooth and nicely adhered to the cup. Now we'll just peel off the transfer tape, of course, and that's really the only final details that I'm going to add to this. I feel like there's so many different ways that you could certainly put this cup together, and I really like struggled with like what design I finally wanted to go with, but I really am satisfied with how this is turning out. Just really a simple but really cute cup for summer, I feel. So we're going to go into our first of 2 final coats of epoxy. In this first coat of epoxy for the final layers, I'm going to add a bit of moon dust from Vinyl Gallery to add a little bit of sparkle. So that will add a little bit of a sparkle element to the flamingo as well, which we know is just painted right now. So we'll get a little bit of extra sparkle without having to fully glitter that entire 3D piece. So with my artist cure, I'm just going to take a brush, and I'm going to go into the sections that I know I won't be able to get to really thoroughly with my hands. So I'm just going to use that paintbrush to get right behind the neck there and right where it attaches, where the head kind of meets the back of the cup here, just to ensure that those pieces and sections of the cup do get fully epoxied, of course. And then again, going into that divot that's under the cup, ensuring that there aren't any gaps left, and then I'll go ahead and just epoxy as normal. So starting with the main portion of the cup here and getting that entire large portion of the cup epoxied first, and then I will take my time to just epoxy the 3D flamingo float on the bottom here. I'm doing a pretty thin layer. I really do try and strive for thin layers, especially when using attachment pieces like this, because you don't want there to be any pooling of epoxy in places. And with these kind of 3D structures, when you are applying them to your cup, because there's so many different like divots and like little crevices and creases that epoxy can pool, you really want to make sure you're doing those thin coats so you don't end up with micro bubbles in places that you didn't notice until the project is fully cured, and really to ensure that you are fully coating your 3D pieces and getting to all those little, again, those nooks and crannies and those sections that really can be easy to miss. So first of 2 final coats is done. We're going to go ahead and let this fully cure. So let this cure overnight, and then I will add a second final coat of epoxy to this cup for it to be officially and finally done. But I'm going to show you really quick sort of the clip of it on the turner here after it's gotten its first of 2 final coats of epoxy to show you kind of what that looks like. But it's so beautiful, it's so shiny. I absolutely love this. I just love how this is coming out. It's so stinking cute. So this is the final look of the cup. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I really do love using these 3D pieces, and I hope that you guys are really getting into wanting to work with some 3D pieces as well. Definitely be sure to like this video, leave me a comment down below, and of course, I'll see you guys again next week for a brand new tutorial. Bye!